What's good, everybody? It's Holmes, and today, guys, I'm coming to you with a brand new video. But before we get into that, guys, please go and leave a like on this video, guys. Let's try and get 20 likes on this video, and of course, subscribe if you have not already, because we're trying to hit 7,000 subscribers very soon, guys. And once we hit that, I can do the giveaways on my Discord and my Instagram as well. And while we're on that topic, guys, please go and check out all the socials down below. Top link should be the Discord, guys, and of course, comment what you guys want to see next, or if you have any other suggestions or anything like that, guys. I try my best to respond to each and every single one of your guys' comments. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the deck profile. Alright, guys, so now, of course, getting into the video, it is going to be a Traptrix deck profile. Now, this is directly following my combo tutorial video. Now, if you guys want, you can net deck this, whatever, go ahead and take it into practice. But again, like I always say with my deck profiles, I like to go into depth and explain every single card and why you want to play a specific ratio, things of that nature, guys. But again, like, comment, subscribe. Let's get in with the deck profile. So again, we play triple Traptrix Mantis. Now, most of the Traptrix cards you're going to be playing at 3, except for one card, as I'll explain as we continue. But Traptrix Mantis says this: when this card is normal summon, you can add one Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. So again, very important, is very similar to like the Stratos of the deck in a sense, because you can normal summon to get any of your Traptrix monsters. If you have any of the extenders, it opens up some really nasty combos, of course, guys. And then all of them have the effect where it says unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. So again, in the mirror match, it gets a little annoying. And then it has the other effect where once per turn quick effect, you can target one set spell trap card you control, return that target to your hand, then you can set one spell trap card from your hand. So this card's pretty good because there are cards that's like reset it but banish it during the end phase of your next turn. If you have an effect like that, Mantis can go ahead and bounce a card to reset a card. It can also bounce like a known trap card, in a sense, like a known trap card that's like set off of Sarah, and then you can add it to your hand, shuffle your hand, and then reset a card. So you can technically reset the same card, but it basically hides public knowledge from your opponent. So it's a very good way to kind of mess around with your plays. Also helps you protect your back row, because it says you can set one spell trap card after you return it, so you can just return it at your hand and then protect it if they're going through like an evenly matched route or something like that. So again, triple Mantis, guys, you guys can technically get away with 2. I do see some lists playing 2, but I feel like you just want the consistency to be able to just kind of get a lot of your other cards as well. So Mantis is very powerful. Then moving on to Mermello. This is one of the older cards. Now, Mantis came out in Court of the Duelist, I believe. Mermello is one of the older cards. This is played like before half format. If you guys don't know what this card does, is this card says unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. Of course, when this card normal summon, you can add one whole normal trap card from your deck to your hand, and then it has the effect where this card special summon, target one spell trap card your opponent controls, destroyed. So Mermello's probably the best card in your deck. I know Mantis gets a monster, but Mermello's kind of what helps facilitate a lot of like the quote-unquote one-card combos, where Mermello can go ahead and normal summon to add any of the whole cards that you're missing, or grabs the new edition Holotea, which essentially lets you activate it and acts as a pseudo Shade Brigandine in a sense. So that'll be able to go ahead and get that to continue off to some nasty plays. And then it has the other effect where it says if this card is special summoned, you can target one spell trap card your opponent controls, destroy. Now this is a mandatory effect, so it's hard to chain block it, and it's not an optional effect. So if they have a negate, they can negate Mermello off the board. So it's a little annoying, but again, it's still really good, especially when you summon this in the mirror match or against Labyrinth or against Sword Soul. You can summon this card to go ahead and pop it back row, so it's very powerful in that regard. Moving on to a new card that came out in the structure deck, we're playing Traptrix Pudica. If I'm mispronouncing it, whatever. Again, same line as always, unaffected by the traps. And then you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Now, this is a little different, where she's a very powerful card in what she does, but she's not a starter in a sense compared to Mantis and Mermello. Because Pudica says this: when it's normal summoned, you can add one Traptrix Garden from your deck to your hand. So Traptrix Garden is a field spell that it basically enables you to get an additional normal summon. I'll explain it a little further on as we go, but again, it's still a very powerful card, and you want 3 of it in your deck because you want to be able to open what's it called, like a conjunction or like a combination of Pudica plus any of these guys as well, because then it gets really nasty. But Pudica has another effect where it says if this card is special summon, target one special summon monster your opponent controls, banish it. Also, during the next standby phase, your opponent special summon one of their banished monsters. So Pudica works as a disruption, but it's a little weird because after you banish it, your opponent special summon any of their banished monsters, not just the monster banished. So like if you're playing against Sword Soul, for example, I'm going to use Sword Soul because it's the best thing I know. If you banish like their Shishao, they can special summon back a Tenyi instead. Another nice thing about that though is it does count towards their special summons. So before the turn even starts, they're already on one special summon. So it's really good. And then again, being a form of disruption is very powerful as well. So again, Pudica is very nice, especially if like you banish like an XYZ monster, it comes back with no materials. So it's pretty nice. Or a Link monster where that it's like not pointing to anything. So it's pretty good. But that rounds it for like the 3 starters, I would say. Mermello, Mantis, the true starters. This is a pseudo starter. And then we are playing the triple Traptrix Arachnocampa or Arachnophobia. Now, Arachnocampa is very good for a lot of reasons, but one of her main reasons is the first time each set card in your spawn trap card zone would be destroyed by card effect. It is not destroyed. So that's like one of the good effects. So you keep this as like a hand trap. But the main effect is this. During the main phase, if you control a Traptrix monster, you can special summon this card, which is a quick effect, and then you get locked into special summoning insects or plants for the rest of the turn from the extract, which that really doesn't really affect you too much because you're summoning during your opponent's turn for the most part. The only other time you wouldn't is with the Mantis play, where if you're not familiar with my Mantis combo, up here, right around this area near the Akatsuki light, I will be posting like the little channel link or the video link where you can see the combo tutorial kind of in action to understand what it does. But again, Arachnocamp is very good because another thing what I like to do is, and I'll explain later on, is they have a card called Pingu, which Pingu can let you add a monster. So you add it for back row. So if you have like 3 back row set, you have Arachnocamp in your hand. If your opponent activates like Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, Twin Twisters, MST, Blackout, stuff like that, you can summon Arachnocamp, and Arachnocamp can protect them from the first time they're being destroyed. So it's very good. A 3 of for sure. This one you can probably get away with 2 of. I don't think the other ones you can. This one you can probably get away with 2 of for more tech spaces, but again, you'd rather open this card in your hand, honestly. You'd rather open all these cards. And then we're playing double Dionea. Now Dionea is the only bad one. I would say it's the best follow-up play. It's best off special summon as well. You want to be able to have at least 1 Dionea in deck, which is why you play 2. It's not a hard break. It's a pseudo break because it does have a nice effect where it says when this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in defense position, right? Very good because it gives you nice follow play. But this card says when this card is special summoned, you can target 1 whole normal trap card in your graveyard, set that target, but banish it during the end of your next turn if it is still on the field. So now this is one of the effects that I was stating, guys, where Mantis comes into really important, and it's really nice because if you end up going Mantis, summoning Mantis to get the Traptrix monster or whatever, you continue to play, and then you go Dionea special to reset, you can Mantis bounce the card and then reset the card. Now it won't get banished in the next end phase because it's no longer that card anymore as it states over here. So again, it's very nice in what it provides. And then Dionea being follow-up is the best thing to do. But again, if you open the combos, like I said before, guys, the combos will be up here exactly, where you use Dionea almost always off of Sarah, so it's very important. But that's for like the main Traptrix monsters, give or take. You can go +1 or -1. I would just suggest leave the list as is. And then we play triple Nibiru, the Primal Being, because it's just like the best board wipe, and it doesn't conflict with your deck at all. Because like for example, Arachnocamp had the effect where it says you cannot special monster from the X deck for the rest of the turn except insect plants. Again, Nibiru is a main deck monster, main deck boss monster, helps wipe the board as well. It's kind of like the last line of defense that you want to use in your deck because your monsters are actually very powerful, especially your X deck monsters. So Nib is just there just to be there. Obviously, Nib is just really good. And then moving on, guys, we play Triple Parallel Exceed. Now this card is very important as well because it just enables so many broken plays, especially because a lot of the Traptrix cards are like generic in a sense. This card says if you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone a link monster points to. If this card is normal special summon, you can special summon 1 Parallel Exceed from your hand or deck. And then if this card is special summoned by the effect of Parallel Exceed, its level becomes 4. So again, it is level 8. Don't worry about that when you link summon. So for example, if you go into Sarah, Exceed will trigger summon Exceed. Exceed will trigger to summon another copy of itself, and then their levels will go down to 4 because again they're special summoned off the effect of Parallel Exceed. So it helps you get into some really awesome and like generic rank 4 plays. So it's pretty good. And then moving on to the spell cards, guys, you play Triple Pot of Prosperity. Prosperity is just really good in a backrow deck, especially a deck that you play a lot of like X deck monsters that you don't really need, especially depending. You can kind of sculpt your hand to figure it out, and that helps you dig a lot deeper as well. Just super powered duality where you're not limited by the special summons. And then play the 1 Traptrix Garden. I'm just called Black Garden. Now Traptrix Garden is the 1 of, and the reason why I played it is because Putika can search it. And Traptrix Garden says this: during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Traptrix monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn, of course. And the first time each insect or plant monster you control would be destroyed by a battle, each turn it is not destroyed. You can banish 1 monster you control, special summon 1 Traptrix monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, again, guys, this card has so much text on it, so usually times when you read a card, man, this card's kind of booty, but this card's really good. So let's go off what it just said, right? We get an additional normal summon. On top of that, it protects our insect or plant monsters that would be destroyed by a battle each turn, and then it gives us recursion. You can banish 1 monster you control, that's on 1 Traptrix monster from your hand or graveyard. Now, this is what I was saying, that it works very well with Nibiru as well, because if you nib the board, you can use Traptrix Garden to banish to go and special summon Traptrix monster from your graveyard that you might have nibbed, and then this will enable you to get a lot of follow play. If you special summon a Murmello, you can pop a card. Special summon a Putika, you can banish a card. Special summon Dionea, you can reset a whole card. So you guys can kind of see the recursion, right? So it's really good. And again, I wish you could play more gardens, but it just gets so bricky. Like there's no reason, especially when you have Putika, you have Prosperity, you have basically every way to get to this card imaginable. So that for the spell cards, guys. Again, it's a backrow deck, and you don't really need the spells, to be honest. They're just really powerful. Then moving on to the newest card, which is Traptrix Holotea. Now, this is basically what makes the deck very powerful. Of course, the extract monsters are really good, but Holotea is really good because this card says you can activate this card the turn it was set, very similar to Shade Brigandine, by discarding 1 normal trap card. Especially on this card in defense position as a normal monster, 2400 defense. I didn't know it had I didn't know it had 2400 normal defense, but the main thing is it's not treated as trap. You banish a card from a graveyard, take one Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn. But the reason why this card is very good is, as you guys can see, you can go Mermello, add, go into Sarah, and then set this, activate this, special summon itself. It'll treat as a monster being special summoned by like a Traptrix, whatever. Trigger Sarah, she will go ahead and set, and then special summon, and then you can go ahead and continue playing. And then if you discarded a trap card off of this, like a whole card, down there can go into special summon. So again, like I said before, guys, if you guys haven't seen my comment video, it's over here. Just go ahead and check it out. But again, Holte is very powerful in that regard, guys. Being one of the best cards, I don't know why I just misclicked there and got rid of it, but yeah, so being one of the best cards that the deck has, so it's very powerful in that regard. And then again, we're playing double Floodgate Trap Hole. Now this card is an FTK against a lot of the decks, especially Cashier, because again, Cashier says if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. So if they go special summon Unicorn, you go Floodgate Trap Hole, books the Unicorn. They need like multiple extenders to play, really and truly, honestly, because you just flip it right away. So it's really good. And then note that face down monster cannot change their battle positions, and it's usually by like a card effect. I think you can do it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but usually that monster just stays stunned there, so it's really good. Floodgate is probably one of the best cards you want to get, followed by Gravedigger's Trap Hole, which is really good because it says when your opponent activates a monster effect that's in their hand or graveyard, or when your opponent's monster effect activates when it's banished. So it's anything that's not on the field. It can negate anything that's not on the field. Negates effects, and if you do, inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent. It doesn't destroy, and that's okay if it doesn't destroy, because again, hand, you don't really care. I guess if it's like a Nibiru or something, you do care. Graveyard and banish is pretty good, so again, it's really nice in that regard. And then we play the one Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, where it says when a monster that was special summoned this turn activates effects, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Note that it says negate that effect and not negate its effects. So there's just something about that as well, because like I'm pretty sure against Dragoon, if they go like special Dragoon effect to negate, and you activate Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, you'll negate the negate effect, but you won't negate their, it's like protection effect. So I'm pretty sure you can't destroy it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm not too sure. And then we play the one time space Trap Hole. When it special summons a monster from the extra deck, from the hand or extra deck, sorry, shove that monster into the deck. Then you lose 1,000 life points for each monster return. The reason why it says for each monster return is if they go pen 3 from the extra deck and they have like something that lets them do it, you can special summon 3, and then it gets sent to the extra deck, and then, or the main deck, sorry, and then you pay 3k. It's very good. One bottomless, because bottomless is bottomless. Again, 50 or more, you destroy and banish. And then the new card, it's Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare. Now again, this card is also a very good card, specifically because if your opponent has special summoned a monster this turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls with 2k or more attack, destroy it. Then if you have a whole normal trap card in your graveyard, which you probably will, you can banish one monster from your opponent's graveyard. So the reason why this is good is, so this card isn't reactive compared to the other trap holes. This card just says if your opponent has special summoned a monster this turn, then once they meet that requirement, meaning like even if they nibbed you, even if they want like special summon Unicorn, whatever, you can target one monster opponent controls with 2,000 more attack, destroy it. And then if you have a regular whole trap card, whatever, in your graveyard, banish card in your graveyard, so it's really good. This is one of the only ones that like kind of lets Rafflesia play a lot more proactively. But again, that's it for like the whole cards, and I'll explain why everything's like the ratio is the way it is. Then finishing off, we have triple infinite impermanence, triple evenly. Again, evenly is a normal trap card, so it works very well with Holte. It's just also a very insane board breaker, and we're in that type of format. So evenly, nib, imperm as the go second. You can play Ash Blossom if you want with the hand trap variant. I have seen that a lot. I just feel like this is probably the best variant as of now. Then moving on to the side deck, guys, really quickly, we'll just talk about some additional cards that you can play. So again, a lot of people are siding the Regulus and the Lily Borea because you play the Merrymaker Sargus, so it gives you a negate. Disc Coliseum enables all of that to happen as well. You can play the Asa as kind of like a link card as well, just like Reborn in the Mirror Match, Reborn of Fenrir, stuff like that. You can play a Torrential Tribute as well. If you go for Torrential, you go for a trap heavier lineup. You can also play one additional Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. Is very good. You can also max out on Gravedigger's Trap Hole, because playing 2 just enables you to basically always have one in deck, so you can kind of just like Rafflesia, play around Nibiru, and then you can play an additional Pingu because it's very good, unaffected, and then it has the effect where you can add one Traptrix monster from your deck, so it's very powerful. Then the third Rafflesia as well, and then a new card that I read, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't think Traptrix needs it as a boss monster, but it's pretty good, right? Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by banishing 3 insect and or plant monsters. And again, all these cards are insects and plants in that regard, from your hand and or graveyard. You can only special summon this card once per turn. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to your spell or trap cards or effect activation, so again, they can't negate any of the things. And then again, it says once per turn during the main phase, destroy all face-up monsters on the field except insect or plants, and this card cannot attack directly. So that's why I was saying that Asa would be pretty good, because you special summon him, nuke the board, and then link him away into Asa, and then you kind of clear the zone away, or you can just like kind of just play however you want. So it's pretty good. But that's it for the side deck cards. Moving on to the extra deck, guys, we play triple Traptrix Sarah. Now again, the Heart and Souls deck, This card says one non-link Traptrix monster, so it's very good. Note this has one non-link and not one non-extra deck monster or one non-XYZ monster, so you can use your XYZ monsters with no material to go into Traptrix Sarah. If this card is link summoned, it's unaffected by the trap effects. So again, this is another really important thing. So it says this link summon card is unaffected by trap effects, not like this monster is unaffected by trap effects. So if you reborn it with Holotea, I'm pretty sure you can do it, right? Yeah. If you reborn it with Holotea, it can lose to Imperm at that regard. But if they special summon, it's not that good. But again, it has the effect where if a normal trap card is activated, there's some one Traptrix monster from your deck with a different name than the cards you control. If your other Traptrix monster effect is activated, you can set one hold. So again, you can get both of these effects. It's a link one, it's really broken. Then we played the one Caleria, I don't know how to pronounce this word. This card says this link summon card is unaffected by trap effects. Note this link summon card, 2 insect and or plant monsters, so basically you make this card no matter what. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. After you activate a whole normal trap card, you can set it instead of sending it to the graveyard. So that's really good because like if you use a whole card during your turn, you can during your opponent's turn, and then during the end phase you can target one Traptrix monster, special summon in defense position. So this card is very important in like the grind game, kind of that type of thing, because they'll be able to reborn like any of these cards. But note that she cannot reborn Sarah because she has to reborn in defense position. And again, link monsters can't be in defense position. And then moving on to another card, which is Traptrix Ather. Now this is a very underrated card. This card says, again, same thing, unaffected by traps. All Traptrix monsters you control gain 1000 attack while you have a normal trap in your graveyard. So it kind of makes them a little beefy, I'm not gonna lie. And it has the other factor, once per turn, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of insect and or plant monsters you control, negate their effects until the end of this turn, then you can apply this effect. Banish one normal trap card from your graveyard, and if you do, destroy one of those face-up targeted cards. Now this card is very, very OP. Again, it'll almost always be at 2800 attack anyways, because you'll have a normal trap in your graveyard, and then you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to it, and then negate their effects. Then if you do that, you can banish one normal trap card and destroy one of those face-up targeted cards. So very, very powerful card, helps push your game, things of that nature. Very underrated as well, especially when your opponent like randomly will go for a game shot. It's also nice because like Caleria can reborn a card. Then after Caleria reborn the card, you can during your opponent's turn like go into an ad piss. So it's pretty good. Then you play double Rafflesia. Rafflesia is really good, and this is the reason why you can get away with playing like the trap hole cards the way they are. Is she says this, well, first off, she gives the protection where Traptrix monsters cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, except herself, and it's as long as she has material. And then she has the effect where your opponent cannot target Traptrix monster you control except Rafflesia, so she gives a blanket effect. And then she also says this, once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, send one whole normal trap card that from your deck to the graveyard that meets its activation. So again, you have this card, they go special summon unicorn, you go Rafflesia effect, Floodgate, Rafflesia effect this, Rafflesia effect that, Rafflesia effect this. That's why I was saying Terrifying Trap Hole is really good. It's because it makes Rafflesia almost like a Dryden in a sense, because Rafflesia can detach. And note that she's not a hard once per turn, she's only a soft once per turn. So if you have like multiple Rafflesias, you can just keep doing them. Then we have the one Pingu, like I said before. This card says you can detach one material, add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand, then if a monster owned by your opponent is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, attach one of those monsters to this card as material. And again, it just does like a lot of really cool effects as well. And then we have the one Alomeris, which is like one of the older cards, I guess. It's unaffected, and then it has the effect where you can detach 2 materials, special summon one level 4 or lower insect monster from your graveyard. And sorry, not level 4 or lower, just level 4. Then if your opponent monster leaves the field because of your card effect and is now in the graveyard or banished, detach one material and then target and special summon to your side of the field. So these are more of the win more cards. You're not really ending on them turn 1 in a sense. You're almost always doing like Rafflesia or like Redoer. But again, they just give you nice synergy, nice plays like that. And then again, we have the one Redoer because it works very well with Holotea. So that's really good as well, because if you flip a trap card, you place one face-up card. Redoer keeps running away, keeps coming back, and it's return, not special summon, so you're not locked out. Then we have the one Extron Knight as like a board wipe. Again, Extron's like a ghetto Zeus, but it's really good as well because it says once per chain during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase. If your opponent has more troll cards, you can nuke the board. Exxon's very good. I wish he was like an insect. I don't know why he's a bug, bro. Like, why is he not an insect? But Exxon's very good in what he does because he nukes the board. Then you have the one Merrymaker and the one Sargus. Now, don't really worry about the Merrymaker. It's just like the climb. And then you go into the Sargus, and then Sargus has the effect where you can add one Spriggans or Theron card from your deck to your hand. So you basically add Lily, summon Lily by banishing any of these guys. Lily sends herself to get this Coliseum gets Regulus. Regulus equip Lily, and then you have Regulus with double negate. So Regulus can send Lily to negate and then send himself to negate during your opponent's turn. So it's very good. And then this Coliseum also, I believe that it'll be able to protect. You can send one. Okay, so you can't really do that, but again, it's pretty good. And then we have the double Zeus. Again, Zeus is very good. You play 2 because they're gonna rip one out. And again, Sargus helps you make a fat Zeus, right? Because think about this, right? It's 2 monsters into Merrymaker, so that's 3 material. Sargus goes on top of it, that's 4 material. Then you slap on Zeus, so it's a 4 material Zeus kind of like a downer magician, things like that. But again, guys, that's it for my deck profile. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys like the video, please go and leave a like on this video, guys, and I'll see you next time. So guys, that was it for the deck profile. If you guys like the video, please go and leave a like on this video, guys, and if you made it to the end of the video and you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and leave a subscription, because we're trying to hit 7,000 subscribers very soon, guys. And like I always say, my name's Hamza. Keep on shining, never go on your dreams. Peace.